my name is Grace E. Boyne, female gladiator for short. Welcome back to Mediverse, your trusted space for health education. In my last session, I talked about vaginal hygiene and I cleared some myths that affected women. So today in part 2, I'm going to go deeper, still under the same vaginal hygiene topic. So now I'm going to be talking about everyday habits that affects the vagina, like poor hygiene practices. Wearing warm panties for too long, bad odor, common misconception. This information is very important to every mother, sister, and young girl out there. So stay with me to the end. Let's go deeper. Vaginal discharge and vaginal odor. So many will ask, what is vaginal discharge? Vaginal discharge is a normal fluid that comes out of the vagina. It helps clean the vagina and protect it from infection. Let us all be aware that every woman has it, and the amount, color, and the thickness can change due to some factors. But before we go to that, let's talk about the normal discharge. So normal discharge can be caused by hormonal changes, like how you're feeling, what you're doing, what's going on in your body, internal environment, like for example, before and after ovulation. And ovulation is the only time a woman can get pregnant, menstruation, birth control, sexual arousal. Sometimes when you are having that feeling of wanting to have intercourse, you have the female hormones like the progesterone and other working together with the nerves and the brain. In that moment you experience a discharge, which is very, very normal. But sometimes it becomes abnormal when you don't practice good hygiene. So let's go to the normal vaginal discharge look. Your discharge should be clean or milky or white. It shouldn't smell bad. It should not be itchy nor painful. So your discharge should not be painful. So whenever you're experiencing series of color or painful burning sensation, it means that there's an infection or health issue. So let's take note of that. Sometimes like yeast infection, you experience that kind of thick white, that kind of like cottage cheese color. Sometimes it feels itchy, it feels burning. Bacterial infection, sometimes you experience that gray, strong, fishy odor like discharge. It becomes worse after sex. And then STI, that is sexual transmitted infection, like gonorrhea, you experience that kind of yellow, green, or foamy discharge. It's very, very painful, especially during urination. So now let's come to one important myth and harmful practice that affects so many women. Poor hygiene or dodging. Someone might ask, what is dodging? So let me clear the air. Dodging is when a woman washes or flushes the inside of her vagina using scone-scented soap, herb, vinegar, antiseptic, onion, garlic, commercial liquid, and other things. So let us take note of that. Let us start inserting stuff into our vagina. Some people believe that sometimes when they take garlic or onion and or lime to watch it inside of the vagina, it cleanses the vagina and keep it healthy. That is very, very wrong, and that is not hygienic. Because what you are doing there, you are removing a good bacteria from within the vagina. You are upsetting the natural balance. And the vagina has a normal pH value that's supposed to be maintained to keep it healthy. So dodging is not good, because inserting all kind of stuff into your vagina, sometimes these things affect fertility. Sometimes it causes irritation and infections. Let's get to one another important harmful practice that affecting so many women. Wearing warm panties for long hours. That is very, very wrong. Let us take note of that, because sometimes you sweat, you urinate, and then you experience a lot of other discharges. The remaining droplets, they sit in the underwear. Sometimes they make the place warm and make the environment moist, encouraging germs to grow. And especially when the underwear is dirty, it attracts bacteria and fungus. We need to take note on these to maintain a good and healthy vagina. Let's talk about the vaginal odor. So the vaginal odor is just the scent of the vagina. Your vagina should smell slight. It should have that kind of mild scent. Your vagina should smell like an onion, that kind of onion scent. Sometimes the scent of the vagina changes during menstruation, ovulation, or after sex. What can sometimes lead to bad odor? Number one is poor hygiene, not changing pad regularly. If you don't change your pad regularly, there are some women when they are on their period, you will see them wearing one tampon for 10 to 11 hours, all in the name of saving costs. That is very, very wrong. It's not hygienic because blood causes strong odor, and then when the odor increases, the environment becomes open to germs. We need to stop that. Unhealthy sex. So in order to maintain a good odor, let us wash the vagina properly. Like I said, you should only wash the outside, the opening part of your vagina. There are some women, sometimes when they are watching within the vagina, they will take their fingers and carry all the way within. That is very, very wrong. It's not hygienic. Like I said, the vagina cleanses itself. It has its own normal flora there to keep it healthy. So if you are carrying your finger all the way in, you are upsetting the normal pH value, which will sometimes lead to infection. So the best way to wash your vagina is the outside. You just take a light scented soap and wash the opening of your vagina. Wear cotton panties. Wash your panties properly, because sometimes if you don't wash your panties properly and then you wear them, the environment gets open to fungus and other bacteria. You need to change your pad 4 to 6 hours. Let us try to practice safe and hygienic sex, because sex is one of the major issues that causes strong vaginal odor. If you don't practice hygienic sex, if the sex is unhealthy, it causes strong vaginal odor. So if you are out there and you're experiencing that kind of strong odor that becomes persistent with bad odor, itching, pain, you need to see a healthcare provider or visit the nearest hospital, because bad scent is not normal and needs proper treatment. So I'm encouraging some women out there, when you are going out, you need to buy your tissue or your clean towel and keep it in your bag. Because sometimes when you urinate 1 time, 2 times, the remaining droplets, they sit in the underwears, and at the end of the day, they increases the odor, they changes the normal odor, and sometimes that gives room to bacteria and fungus. So if you have your tissue or your clean towel in your bed, whenever you use the bathroom, you just wipe from the front to the back. You don't do it aggressively. You take your own time to do it to prevent bacteria from entering. So use a clean tissue and do not do it aggressively. Do not insert stuff into your vagina. Do not insert commercial product into your vagina. Stop inserting herbs into your vagina. They are upsetting the normal value. It's not healthy. It's not hygienic. We need to put stop to that. Listen to me, your vagina is not dirty. Your vagina is not weak and does not need harmful practices to be healthy. Every woman out there needs to know about her body, because that knowledge is going to protect her to choose truth over myth, health over harm, and medical care over harmful practices. If this session helped you a little bit, please don't keep it to yourself. Please follow Metaverse across all social platforms on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. Encourage other women to like, share, forward the message. Thank you. Stay blessed and stay healthy.